It's time for the One Bar and Lupagus Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
Hello and welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus, and today I'm going to talk about 3 players the Vikings could miss the most during the 2020 season. Before I get into that, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like our videos. We'll have something for you every single day, some Viking nugget that you can chew on and think about while you're waiting for the 2020 NFL season to start. So, who are some Vikings that the team might actually miss in 2020? Well, I think the first one and probably the biggest one is wide receiver Stefon Diggs. He's a star player. You don't just replace a star player immediately unless you get very, very lucky. And maybe the Vikings did with Justin Jefferson. You got to love what that kid brings to the table with his size and his speed and his insane production from a year ago. But Diggs was something special, and he had proven to be able to do it consistently at the NFL level. It just seemed like every time the Vikings needed a big play last year, or if their offense was in kind of a lull, Diggs provided that spark that got kind of woke everybody up and got the team moving again. He had the 3 touchdown game against the Eagles. He had a big play against the 49ers in the playoffs. And of course, he had the Minneapolis Miracle. So, I mean, Vikings fans are always be in debt to this guy for that. And while he wanted out, he will be missed. And the thing that's going to make it is going to be Justin Jefferson. If he's slow to acclimate to the NFL game, if he can't pick up the offense, struggles to find separation, those are all going to be factors that could, decrease his playing time. You might see guys like B.C. Johnson and Tajay Sharp see more snaps. And the other thing you got to worry about is without Diggs on the field, is Adam Thielen going to see more double teams? And is that going to hurt his production? He's proven to be a pretty shaky guy and can get open no matter what. And even if he's not open, he still seems to catch the football. But without Diggs on the other side, that could provide some issues. So we do need Justin Jefferson to come in and produce right away. Otherwise, the loss of Stefon Diggs could reverberate throughout the Vikings 2020 season. And I think Diggs would actually love that if that actually happened. All right, another guy the Vikings could end up missing quite a bit in 2020 is right guard Josh Klein. I still can't believe the Vikings cut this guy to save a measly like $1.3 million, whatever it was. He is your second best offensive lineman. He was a beast in the running game. For the most part, he held his own in pass protection. Yes, he did have some issues with concussions, but it's not his fault. He did miss a couple games. But to replace your second best offensive lineman with what's probably going to be a guard who has played 31 snaps in his career so far is very, very sketchy. It's a huge roll of the dice, and it's a move that may not pay off. If Drew Samia is the guy who ends up taking the right guard spot, as many project him to do, and he can't handle it, he can't produce, the Vikings offensive line could be even worse than it was a year ago. If Bradbury doesn't have to just focus on his job, has to worry about the right guard spot as well as the left, if Pat Elflein is over there, oh, man, the pressure through the middle could be insane. Kirk Cousins will be running for his life, and the Vikings running game will also implode. So Josh Klein, he was easily the second best offensive lineman on the Vikings. You're taking a huge chance here by replacing with an inexperienced rookie, or if it's Dakota Dozier, then you have another, a journeyman veteran who hasn't, when he's gotten the shot to start, he hasn't been able to pull it off. So either way, it's a crapshoot, and the Vikings are really taking a huge chance here. So if Drew Samia, Dakota Dozier, whoever it is, if they aren't able to step up, fill that gap at right guard, the Vikings are going to be hoping and praying and kicking themselves in the ass that they let this guy, Josh Klein, go. So it's karma, and it could come back to bite him in the ass this year. All right, the last player I think the Vikings could end up missing quite a bit in 2020 is defensive end Everson Griffin. And you're going to miss this guy for 2 reasons. First of all, he was a longtime leader on the defense. A guy who kind of worked his way up from being a 4th-round pick, did things the right way to become one of the best players, one of the best pass rushers in Vikings history, really. Just a fun-loving guy, brings a lot of excitement to the field with his high energy and his high level of play. He really bounced back a season ago where he had 8 sacks after he, kind of had that season that was abrupted with his health issues, but this was a player you really would have thought the Vikings would have been able to re-sign, bring back for one more hurrah, maybe a couple more years, because he really showed that he's got a lot left in his body. He is old, but there's a mosquito. he's got a lot left in the tank, and he's still playing at a high level with a lot of energy, a lot of burst, explosive first step. Sometimes it's too explosive and he jumps off sides, but Everson Griffin, I mean, he's not slowing down. He's still got some good years of football left in him. And while the Vikings are set, you got Danielle Hunter on one side and Ifeadi Odenigbo on the other, who looks like he's ready to bust out. The problem is, and why they could end up missing him, is if one of those two get hurt, and you got to rely on a journeyman like Eddie Yarbrough, Anthony Zettel, or a rookie like DJ Wanham or Kenny Willekes to come in and start for you. That is a huge drop off in talent. It could be a huge drop off in production. And if the Vikings cannot generate pass rush up front, the entire Mike Zimmer defense will implode. It's all about creating the pressure up front. If they don't have that, it's just there'll be plenty of room for receivers to get open. It's just gonna be ugly. So the Vikings will be okay if their two starters can stay healthy. If not, they're gonna wish that they had Everson Griffin back. And either way, they're going to miss this guy from a leadership standpoint. But, maybe Danielle Hunter really rises up to the occasion, becomes that leader on the D-line and even on the entire defense. So those are the three guys I think the Vikings could miss the most in 2020. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, and they won't. But there's a chance they'll miss at least one of those guys. All right, I'll be back later for some more delicious Vikings topics.